Against? That's carried. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Great. We'll move to the capital performance report with Nikki.
Morena, good morning. You'll be familiar with my colleague Richard Wesley, and I've got Gavin here from Three Waters today. So you've got the three reports: the capital performance report, the watch list, and the CRAF transport program. Regarding the FY25 capital program forecast, including Te Kaha, this is currently at 101% of budget, with a projected spend of $745.8 million, which is 24% achieved year to date. Excluding Te Kaha, the forecast results align at 100% of budget, with a projected spend of $548.5 million. And we at the Program Management Office still have our forecast unchanged at $510 million, and we'll review it again next month. Major areas of the capital program are also actively reviewing their forecasts as part of their operational day-to-day processes, with most areas operating within the target range of 10%. And we've had another progressive month in projects, including the completion of the Greening the East project, so planting 49 large and flowering trees across our eastern parts of the city, which is a significant milestone to highlight. Thank you to our project manager, Corrine Early, and her project team. Moving into the watch list, and although it's only October, we propose to please ask for your consideration to proactively address the November watch list. So specifically, we are recommending swapping in a project and then swapping out a project. We're proposing to add in project 67806, so CWTP activated sludge plan, the trickling filter replacement at the waste treatment plant in Christchurch City, into the November watch list, and then to remove... Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, if we haven't got it in the recommendations about a move in and a swap in and a swap out, what we might do is bring it back next month with a recommendation. I think would be...
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. But
yeah, might be.
Sorry, that's my fault for thinking that I put it in there.
We do that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Talk to it.
Carry on?
Yep.
Okay. And then to remove from the watch list project 47123, the Christchurch waste treatment plant biogas storage upgrade. This is currently on hold. It's currently on hold until 2025. The proposal effectively swaps the two projects on the watch list to better align to our current priorities and ensures the watch list remains active. And I've got Gavin here to ask or answer any questions or queries you may have.
What we might do, and it's okay today, but a kind of good process thing is it would just be good to have a heads up.
Of course. I
don't know whether, I wasn't aware we're changing things, so it makes it a bit difficult to understand what we're changing.
Yeah.
So no, that's okay. Do you want to just talk through the rest of the report and then we can take questions on that? And I'd just be keen to get some feedback from Brent. Yeah. Thanks.
I can take questions now on the report.
Okay. Any questions on the report? It's probably not. No, Yanni will have a question. Yanni. No, it's good. It's good. Jake and then Yanni.
No, I was just going to say it is great to have that Greening the East project done, and I'm proud my wee little project in my ward has made it to the top page, and former board member would also be very proud to see this project come to fruition. So yeah, thank you.
I just wondered if staff are able. We're showing Parikori as being green on track. Do we know when the handover will be? And is everything... I'm just wanting to get an update on the confidence around the Parikori, given that I think this is probably... It looks like good news on here that we've got greater confidence now that that's happening, but...
Who would be able to answer that? Yeah, I really think that the only way to answer that question is with a separate briefing, because obviously it's delivered by others, so we have more confidence, but yeah, we're not directly involved with the project. So
Right, okay. The other question I had in terms of the CRAF briefing, so we've now seen that the initial forecasts for the street renewal for Wyon Street, for example, it's been put into our renewals program, but it's been at half the price of the craft project. So I'm trying to understand how the two arms of council are working together around cost certainty. Obviously with craft, I've been raising concerns for a number of years now around the budget, the cost, and understanding what's happening. But it would appear that that project can now be done under the street renewal budget, 205 I think it is, but the costings has been the original craft, not the craft that was double, which led to it being delayed.
Lynette?
This is the printed version.
This is the printed version.
Which, so through the chair, generally on CREF, progress is moving faster on many projects because they have got moving post the reduction of the Transport Choices program. So we are seeing really good progress on a lot of projects. With regard to Wyan Street in particular, there was meetings to and fro with the community board. Yes, a briefing was done and an initial estimate was put together that through the community board decision changed the priority for the community board up there. You as council advised us through the LTP process that you wanted Wyan to be a priority in the street renewal program. It has been put on very recently with an initial estimate for the street works alone, but we know that there are culvert works down there to do, and that is what causes the extra cost.
So half the
We
project
haven't
of
scoped we haven't finished scoping up the culvert works.
right.
So we've got to work that out, but it will come out of other buckets within transport as well.
Okay, so effectively there's no difference in the cost, it's just how it's the scope that we've measured.
Yep.
That has changed the price.
Yep. So the LTP was finalised, as you're aware, at the end of last financial year. The team have been working on it since then, and they've been going around the community boards, and I believe we're at your community board tomorrow to talk through the programs. So we've been going around all the community boards and dealing with that. But Wyan Street, as council has indicated, is a priority on the street renewal program.
So the other budget that we don't have visibility of, we've got visibility of the street renewal, but not the culvert.
You
When will we get
have
an
visibility
understanding
of
the
all
culvert?
budgets through the LTP.
I'm just like with this, it says that Wine Street's not proceeding. Obviously we know it's going to proceed, which is great. I'm just trying to get a way to actually be able to articulate that to the local community, because the budget that we've got publicly for the street renewal is half of what the craft budget was.
So through the chair, if this helps, the articulation to me would be the community board made a decision to prioritise other works through the craft program. That is just one program within a broader program of council's work, as we're all aware. Council has prioritised getting Wine Street done, so it is the top priority for the works. That's what I would articulate to the community.
Cool. Okay, so now I've got Tyrone, and then Mark, then Tyler.
Actually, sorry,
And Mel.
I'm actually good, Mr. Chair.
You're good?
Because the reporting is actually so good that it tells me everything that I need to know.
Perfect.
And it's worth noting just why it's worth investing in these types of tools that we've got. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm not going to argue with you. Mark?
Well done, Councillor.
All right, keep it going.
Tyrone.
Come on. We don't need to be a
So-
Tyrone praising session.
Just looking at Stealth Express Cycleway, it's probably a Lynette question again, I'm thinking. We've got critical showing on the entire summation here. Just wondering how we're going with that Kiwi Rail design and the
Sorry, councillor, what page is it?
page
there it is. I've got it.
101.
It is my understanding is the project is progressing along, but the intersection of Gilberthorpe's Parker is not progressing at this stage, and that's what's causing the critical nature of the work. So we're working out how to
How to get around that.
how to work with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very good. And
It's still on front of mind to keep moving.
yep. The section from along Barter heading out to Templeton, is that currently in tender process or?
I don't know. I'd have to come back. Sorry.
Cool.
It's due soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. I've got Tyler and then Mel and then Yanni.
Hey Lynette, welcome.
Hi.
No, I'm joking. I just noticed that Bradshaw Terrace, I'm looking at the craft projects here,
Yep.
and Bradshaw is at 89%. I thought it was 99.
So the construction on ground may have pretty much finished. He's pretty much finished, but there's still work to tie up. If there's budget's not all expended, it will go back up to the program level and be redistributed to other
That's
projects.
what I wanted to know. Okay. So that means we've got something that's coming to our table in regards to Brockworth and then 3 minor safety improvements across Darville Street and Kilmarnock. The proposal that was brought to us from staff, which was a great one, was prioritising those craft projects, where Brockworth is prioritised as one, and then the other 3 traffic improvements are then prioritised accordingly.
Yep.
I'm wondering if there may be any movement to keep Brockworth prioritised at 1 and maybe be able to deliver 1 or 2 of those safety improvements, working within the budget of 2 to 2.5 million on Brockworth.
I would have thought so, but to me, that's what you as a board talk to with the
Yeah.
project manager at
So
the
that-
time, and
it's
you
probably
can
something to
work
take up
through
with the
that.
board
Yeah,
rather
definitely.
than capital
Yep. No, that's great. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, and then we've got Mel, and then we'll move on.
It was just about Eddington Brook. I can't remember if this was in the tables of things that got rephased for the annual plan. But because it just talks about rephasing that out and also, possibly putting it out for consultation.
That would be Gavin. You could repeat the question. Sorry.
It's about Eddington Brook. It's just in the commentary about it. It talks about spreading the construction out over 3 years, rephasing the budget and the annual plan process, which may have been in those tables, but I don't recall, and also possibly having public consultation at some stage for the Rickerton facility in Hagley Park.
I'd have to come back to you on that.
Okay.
We haven't talked about it all, have we?
Yeah, well, I think we've got a paper coming next week. So
There is a paper. Yeah.
Do you want to just get some information
we'll get added
to let Mel
onto
know
that,
before then? That'd be cool.
Yeah. There's
Great.
an update.
You're all good, Mel? Yanni, and then Celeste,
Yeah, I
and
was
then
just
we're going to move
wondering,
on.
in terms of Brockworth, what's the total project cost now? How much is funded through craft?
Oh, sorry.
It just says in the
I don't.
update, it requires
Posed at 2.
the Brockworth Street Renewal Project will require additional funds from the program.
Yeah, so currently it's got 0.8,
Oh yeah.
and it's at 2. So the board needs to work to prioritise which they want to do. That's what the report
Sure.
coming back to the board is about.
So the estimated cost for the total Brockworth Place renewal is 2 million, and that can be funded within the existing craft program based on the board's prioritisation. Do we get development contributions for craft?
This is it's probably out the scope of this paper. So Celeste, have you got a question? And then we're going to move on.
Okay, can I just flag though? I was keen to and I know staff have said maybe we wait till next month, but given the importance of the activated sludge, I was keen just to move to add that to the watch list now. So
Yeah, I'm just getting some advice because the first I've heard of it is now, which to me doesn't. Yeah, it's right. So Celeste, then.
I'm just on page 95. Just got a question around Pages Road Bridge. Just interested to know because it's talking about the forecast being April.
Must be this way. Yeah. Sorry,
That
I'm
one?
just getting the page.
Cool.
We can't go in the right. We're struggling to go in the right direction between us. Here we go. We're right now.
Can you just explain to me, because you've got the baseline and the forecast, can you just explain to me the difference there? Because has the forecast for the delivery of that project changed in terms of the construction? That's the completion, is it? That's the completion milestone. So we're still on track for construction beginning in FY28?
yes, all things being equal, that's what's still planned. The baseline is what was agreed years ago, wasn't it? So that was, that was where we started when the project was first online. We thought we would be at that point then, but it has since changed.
When did that change? When is that updated? Because my understanding was the forecast was earlier than that in terms of the completion of that project. Has that changed?
The
Recently?
baseline.
The forecast for the completion of the project. And
I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah,
come
we'd
back
have
with
to
that
we'd have to
detail.
check back and see. I mean, it's obviously a very early project. We're still very early on in the project, and so those can only ever be indicative finish dates.
Can we get an update on that specific forecast? Because obviously, with concerns around the resilience of that bridge, the completion of that project is of a lot of interest to the communities that will be using it if they need to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Through the chair, can I just, because this is a public meeting, remind everybody that we are working through the business case on this, and we will not be starting any detailed design until we've completed that business case, because we want to make sure we secure the funding for the bridge. So that's where we're at right at the moment, and until that business case process is finished, then we won't have a clear handle on the program or the timelines.
I think it would still be useful to get that information
We will still
because
come back with
obviously
information.
council still has the option of progressing it through other channels. So obviously the business case is if we're looking to get the NZTA funding, but we also need to understand if there's any risk to the project not being delivered within the forecast that's been projected here.
That would be a big departure in terms of fully funding it ourselves when government have indicated they will. Maybe I've missed something, but because I know it's good, we raise Pages Road Bridge every month, but my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lynette, was that in order to apply for the funding, you need to do the business case, and if you can't retrospectively go back and get the funding if you don't do the business case.
Yep.
And we're working hand in glove with Richard and the team to get it done. So
Yes,
at least something's changed, but no.
I don't think so.
So what specifically do?
Our council's already committed to potentially funding that project if required.
Yep.
And we'd need to understand what the risks are because we've only got funding for the next 3 years, which is actually that's 7 million? We don't actually have committed funding for the whole project yet, as I understand, because we haven't completed the business case. So that's not confirmed.
Are you sorry? Just so I'm clear. Are you wanting a paper to remove us from the NZTA process?
I'd like clarity on the timelines because we need to be able to make informed decisions about at what point do we look at alternatives to the current process.
Well, that's the thing. You're either in or you're. Correct me, I'm a layman with this stuff, but you're either in or you're not. So, I mean, if you want a paper on withdrawing from the ability to have NZTA funding, we could do that, but I'm just not sure what you're wanting.
So the rest of the project is we're waiting for another year. So the project itself is potentially being delayed by a year as we develop the business case. With a bridge that is a critical lifeline link, we know that the bridge itself is 15% of code. We need more information to give assurance to the community that that's been delivered as fast as possible, bearing in mind it wasn't accepted through fast track. So we need to understand how long that's going to be, have a clear understanding of the timelines moving forward, because we've got 1 year where nothing's happening in terms of developing that apart from working on the business case. So I'd like some clarity around that.
I mean, we can, Lynette, is that something you can, I'm still really unclear as to.
I can provide clarity on the timelines. I'll provide a memo back.
That'd be good.
Clarity on the timelines.
Yeah. It would just be a fundamental change if council are now saying we're going to depart from the business case process where the government have agreed to contribute to fully have that ratepayer funded. I mean, it's tens of millions of dollars, so I'm just not sure.
We don't know what the government contribution will be as of yet towards the total cost of the project.
We do know that it'll be zero if we depart from the business case. Yeah. Unless I've missed, and I may have missed something, but that was my understanding.
Well, currently it's only $7 million towards the total cost of the project.
No.
3.5?
No, we've been through this, through the chair, we've been through this before. The business case goes in for the complete funding that we're asking for, and we're asking for the funding for the bridge. So it's the funding that we are requesting is something in the order of $20 million.
Yeah.
And once you get it, but the announcements have been based on what was in the 3-year period.
Correct. Yeah.
So the government announcements are based on that.
Well, when we had Nicola, who's the chief executive of NZTA here, feels like here probably a month ago, and her understanding was once you've got the business case in, as long as we're working hand in glove with Richard and the team, that you get money in the next cycle because it's been accepted.
Yeah.
So it's almost like how we do funding for different projects. Yeah, but we can get some more advice.
Yeah, bearing in mind we have progressed with other projects without NZTA funding recently.
Yeah, well, we'd have to go and consult for $20 million ratepayer money into a bridge that the government have said they'll fund, but we could get some advice. Okay, let's move on. Anything else? Yanni? As long as it's not Pages Road Bridge.
No, it's not. It's,
Yep.
it's even better. So, I mean, obviously, one of the concerns, a number of the critical things in here are to do with Kiwi Rail. Is there any update on working with Kiwi Rail to reduce the costs and to get some resolution to the issues?
There have been a number of meetings. I've had a number of meetings with senior managers at QRail. Brent has as well. We are continuing to talk. So yes, I think if fair to say it is a work in progress. We are working on it, but it is going to be something that takes us some time.
Okay, right. So I'm happy to move. I'm happy to move this. Pauline's happy to second it. Yanni, you want to?
Oh, I just wanted to move that we add the activated sludge treatment plant to the capital watch list.
Okay, so they're going to include it. They're going to include it next time.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
And you're going to reflect on.
Yeah, I think through you, Mr. Chair, we can bring back the proposal that was put forward here and formalise it into the report.
Everyone agrees it should be in there.
And just the other thing, and there's some stuff in PX, but I did wonder whether we need to have the other projects attached to the CWTP, like and again maybe when staff come back, but if there's other reliances on other parts of that plant being fixed or rebuilt or upgraded, is there a way that we can see the big picture?
I think we might leave that with the team to have a
Yeah,
look at,
okay.
and then. But good points, because I agree. We want it. So I haven't known about it until literally the beginning of this meeting. Well,
thank you.
The beginning of the paper. Okay, so that's moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? That's carried. Great, thank you. So Luke, do you want to come up? Yep. Were you there somewhere for the infrastructure?